The U.S. Constitution says that enslaved black folks were going to only count as 3/5 of a human being for the purpose of enumeration, and that Indians not taxed, quote unquote, weren't going to count at all. And still, Republican people today will look you dead in the eye and say that the Constitution is not a racist document. Racism is structuring power, political power, economic power, cultural power, whatever, by race. Just the way that classism is structuring the world and its power by class, and sexism is structuring the world and its power by sex. So when the Constitution says the rules are going to be different here for different people depending on their race, that makes it a racist document. That's a fact, and it doesn't care about your fucking feelings. So why do conservative-minded people feel so compelled to resist that obvious fact? It's because in the conservative world, people turn toward authorities to establish truth, whereas for the rest of us, we are turning toward truth to establish authorities. For someone like me, it's pretty easy to admit the Constitution is a flawed document, but it's the document that we're working with, so we're going to work with it. But for a conservative-minded person, to admit that it's a flawed document is to admit that it's not an authoritative document. When conservatives hear left-leaning people say this is a racist document, they think that that means this is an invalid document. This is a bad document. We can't look at this document. We can't use this document. We have to remove it from the narrative we tell ourselves about our national history. That's not what left-leaning people are arguing at all, and they've never been arguing it. Basically, since the presidency of Thomas Jefferson, there's been a culture war going on in the United States where people on the ideological left look at the Constitution and say that should be a tool that we use to build the society that we want. Whereas people on the ideological right say, no, that is the rules that our society has to conform to. Because say it again with me, on the right, folks are turning toward authorities to try to learn how to think about right and wrong. And on the left, folks are thinking about right and wrong to try to figure out who and what do we elevate to positions of authority.